Hello students, welcome to my chemistry class. I am V. Ragasuma, Government Degree College, Bhadrachalam. Today's session, I am going to explain you about the phase rule. What is the phase rule and what is the different terms involved, degrees of freedom, phase, what are the components, what is the phase rule, and what is the reduced system, and what is a one component system, what are the two component system. We'll see. So previous session in the one component system, I have explained you about the water system. Now in the one component system, it is a two-dimensional. In that, we are going to say about the sulfur system. Gibbs phase rule. It is stated by Josiah Willard Gibbs in 1874. So it is the fundamental rule for the phase diagrams. To study the behavior of heterogeneous systems, phase rule was proposed. F is equal to 2 minus pi plus c. Pi is the number of phases present in the equilibrium for the different phases like solid, gases, liquids. For this type of phases which are in equilibrium, the pi indicates the phases. F is the number of degrees of freedom or independent variables like pressure, temperature, composition, density of the phases. C is the chemical components required for the system. The terms involved in the phase rule are degrees of freedom, F. It is the number of external variables can be changed independently without disturbing the number of phases in the equilibrium. For example, you take liquid, you take water that is in the solid state, it is in the liquid state, ice form is the solid form, and water is in the liquid form, water vapor is in the gaseous form. All these three are in equilibrium to each other. So here the variables temperature, pressure, and composition can be altered independently without changing their phases. That is the solid phase, liquid phase, and the gaseous phases. So those variables are called degrees of freedom. Now what is a component? The chemically independent constituent of a system. Water, the chemical component is nothing but H2O. So it's independent of the system. That is the component. Number of components, it is denoted by C. Minimum number of independent species necessary to define the composition. Minimum number of independent species to define the composition of a phase is nothing but the number of components. Now what is the phase? A state of matter that is uniform throughout the chemical position. A state of matter, you can take solid or liquid or gas. A state of matter, it is uniform throughout the chemical composition and its physical state. So that is called a phase. So phase is any part of the system. Phase is any part of the system which is homogeneous, physically distinct by the boundary surface, and mechanically we can separate, mechanically separable from other homogeneous parts of the system. For example, water and ice, that solid, water in the liquid state, and the water vapor in the gaseous state. All these are homogeneous. Each phase, there are three phases. All of them are homogeneous and physically they are distinct with some boundaries. In the phase diagram, they are having particular boundaries with the lines and with the curves. That is the boundary surface. And mechanically we can separate that homogeneous parts of the systems. For that system, the homogeneous parts can be separated. Those are called as the phases. In the water system, solid, ice is one phase. Water, liquid is one phase. Water vapor, gaseous state is another phase. So the state of matter which is uniform throughout the chemical composition, mechanically separable, physically distinct by boundary surface is nothing but a phase. Now, what are the number of components? It's nothing but number of components in a system is smallest number of, it is the smallest number of independently variable constituents by means of which composition everywhere. So for water system, the number of components, ice is in equilibrium with water in equilibrium with vapor. So the component is 1, phases are 3. C is only 1. The chemical composition is only 1. Now, what is degrees of freedom? It is denoted by F. Phase is denoted by P. Component is denoted by C. Degrees of freedom, it is denoted by F. The number of degrees of freedom is the number of factors, namely temperature, pressure, concentration of the components, which can be varied without altering the phase. Okay, the number of degrees of freedom of a system is number of factors, namely temperature, pressure, concentration of components that can be varied without altering the phase. Nothing but temperature, pressure, composition, density. These are the degrees of freedom. These are the independent variables. These doesn't disturb the phase. That is nothing but degree of freedom. So the number of independent variables such as temperature, pressure, concentration, which must be specified in order to define the system completely. F is equal to 0. Here, invariant system. F is equal to 1. Degrees of freedom is 1. Then the system is univariant or monovariant. F is 2. Then the system is known as bivariant or divariant system. If F is 3, then the system is known as trivariant system. So these are the variables, independent variables: temperature, pressure, composition, density. So all these are the independent variables. So by altering them, the phase will not change. Okay, that is degrees of freedom. A number of components, I have told you, is the smallest number of constituents by which composition of each phase in the system at equilibrium is expressed in the form of a chemical formula or equation. The chemical constituent is nothing but the components of a system. Ice, water, water vapor, 3 phases. Component is only 1, water. A mixture of salt and water, 2 components are there. Since both chemical species are independent and they are different. So the composition, number of components are 2. What is a phase? Phase is homogeneously physically distinct, mechanically separable portion of system. It is separated from other parts of the system by boundaries. You are having the areas in the phase diagram. You can see you are having areas which are separated by lines, curves. So those are nothing but boundary surfaces. Those are the separable parts of the system. At freezing point, water consists 3 phases. Ice is in equilibrium with water. Water is in equilibrium with water vapor. So solid, liquid, gas. Here the phases are 3. But here the phases are 3. The composition is only 1, H2O. Okay. So, but you can see degrees of freedom will be varying in that phase system. They keep on varying, sometimes univariant, bivariant. Okay, so invariant system also you can see in one system only you can see different degrees of freedom. Now a gaseous mixture being thoroughly miscible in all proportions will constitute one phase. A gaseous mixture, completely gases, all of them are in different proportions but they are miscible, but they constitute only for one phase. Nitrogen, hydrogen, examples, one phase only, because it's a homogeneous, miscible. If 2 liquids are immiscible, benzene and water, then 2 separate phases. Okay, that is 2 separate phases you call. If 2 liquids are miscible, ethanol and water, then they exist as one liquid, homogeneous mixture, then the phase is 1. If it is heterogeneous, it depends on the heterogeneity. If 2 different types, immiscibility is there, then 2 separate phases. It depends. Okay, now you have, I hope you have understood you have got a clear idea about a phase. Now we'll see what is the phase rule. I'm repeating again the terms that are involved. In order to understand the coming system, we need to revise the terms involved in the phase rule. What is phase rule? Number of phases, it is given by P. Gas or the gaseous mixture, it is a single phase. Previously also, the slide has explained you. In the slide we have given you the explanation. Liquid, 1, 2, 3 phases. If 1, 2, 3 phases. 2 totally miscible, single phase. Ice and water, 2 phases. For a liquid, 1 or 2 or 3 phases can be there. If 2 are miscible, then that is a single phase. Slurry of ice and water, you will be having the liquid and the solid. So it is 2 phases. You take a solid, a crystal, it is in single phase. An alloy, you are having 2 phases, immiscible. If 1 phase is there, then that is miscible. Immiscible, 2 phases. If it is miscible, 1 phase. Homogeneous, then that is 1 phase. If it is not homogeneous, it depends, 2 phases or 3 phases. Now what is Gibbs phase rule? F is equal to C minus P plus 2. F is the degrees of freedom. It is equal to number of components minus the number of phases greater than 2. 2 variables, temperature and pressure. So F is equal to C minus P plus 2. So this is for one component system. This will change accordingly for the reduced system, that will be plus 1. Phase diagram. It shows the regions of the pressure, temperature at which various phases are thermodynamically stable. Okay, now we'll see, later on we'll see a phase diagram. In that phase diagram, you will be seeing the one component in different phases which are in equilibrium. So it shows the different regions of pressure, temperature at which various pressures are thermodynamically stable. Phase boundary. A boundary between the regions shows the values of P and T at which two phases coexist in equilibrium. So a boundary, it is nothing but phase boundary, a boundary between the regions which shows the values of the pressure, temperature at which two phases coexist in equilibrium. How the equilibrium is existing? The area and area, in between you are having a curve or a line. So that is a phase boundary, okay, between the temperature and the pressure. Now what are the advantages? Phase rule for both the physical and chemical equilibria, it can be applied. It is applicable for the macroscopic systems, and here no information is required regarding the molecular or microstructure. Only for the macroscopic systems we have got it. So we can conveniently classify the equilibrium states in terms of phases, components, and degrees of freedom. The behavior of system can be predicted under different conditions, temperatures and pressures. According to phase rule, different systems behave similarly if they have same degrees of freedom. Different systems but same degrees of freedom. Why? Why is that similarity? Can be explained using the phase rule. Phase rule helps in deciding the existing of the equilibrium among various systems. So various substances, how the equilibrium is there, and how the interconvergence of a substance, disappearance of some substances, how the substances are combining, how they are disappearing, how they are coming into the equilibrium. All this can be explained using the phase rule. So these are the advantages of the phase rule. Now coming to the limitations. So unless it is in equilibrium, you can't explain the phase rule. Phase rule, it is applicable only for the systems which are in equilibrium. It is not much used for the systems which attain the equilibrium very slowly. So the ones which are not in equilibrium can also be, they cannot be explained. Even that is also a limitation. For a system that is attaining very slow equilibrium, it is not applicable. For the system which is not having the equilibrium, for that also the phase rule is not applicable. Only for the equilibrium systems, this phase rule is applicable. So only 3 degrees of freedom, temperature, pressure components are allowed. So what about the composition density? So remaining are not allowed here. Although they are the still many degrees of freedoms are there, but temperature and pressure are only counted here and the components are only counted. Under the same condition of temperature and pressure, all the phases must be present. If the temperature and pressure varies different conditions, then this rule cannot be applied. It considers the number of phases rather than the amount. Only the phase rule, only the phases it considers, not the amounts. So we have seen the basic terms to be discussed here. So what is the phase rule? What is the Gibbs phase rule? What are the terms involved? Degrees of freedom, number of components of a system, what is a phase, what is the phase rule, next phase diagram, advantages of the phase rule and limitations of the phase rule. Now I'm going to give you the explanation of one component system. So one component system, previous session I explained about the water system, and this session I'm going to explain you about the sulfur system. Equilibrium. So first, before the phase diagram of the sulfur will be discussed now. A system is said to be in equilibrium if the properties like temperature, composition, and etc. of the various phases do not undergo any change. So you'll be having a true equilibrium, metastable equilibrium, and that will be seen in the one component, we'll see in the one component system. So true equilibrium, when same state can be attained, approached in either of the direction, that is the true equilibrium. That is the true equilibrium. The type of state that can be obtained only by careful approach in one direction is metastable equilibrium. You have got the differences. Now, one component system. What is one component system? A one component system consists of one phase, two phases, or three phases. So you may get F is equal to 2 or F is equal to 1 or F is equal to 0. Phase rule. One component system, it can have, one component system can have one phase or two phases or three phases. But here it can be bivariant system. One component system can be bivariant, monovariant, and invariant. So in the water system, we have got different variants. So bivariant system, we have seen the curves you'll be having one, and in the areas you'll be getting one. Like that, different systems you will be getting. Even at the triple point, you'll be getting one type of variant. So at the triple point, the variant is invariant. 0, F is 0. For the areas, it is bivariant. In the water system areas, the system is bivariant. For the triple point, it is invariant. And for the curves, it is monovariant. So phase rule will be changing for one component system. In the areas, you'll be getting one phase rule. That is, in the areas, I have got bivariant system. In the curves, I have got monovariant system. In the triple point, I've got zero variant system. Now we'll see for the sulfur how you'll be getting the systems. So you know even the what is a phase equilibrium for two component system also we know. So sulfur comes under one component system. The second example for the one component system. So previous session, phase diagram of water, one component system explained, and its variance is also explained. Bivariant, monovariant, invariant was also explained. Now I'm going to explain for the sulfur. Sulfur, it exists in four forms. Rhombic sulfur, SR. Later on SR you can understand. Rhombic sulfur, melting point 114 degrees centigrade. Monoclinic sulfur, SM. Monoclinic sulfur, melting point 120 degrees centigrade. Liquid sulfur, SL. Vapor sulfur, SV. Here are the diagrams. So these are the four forms. The composition is only one. Here the composition is only one. So it is one component system. Here is the phase diagram. The four phases: liquid sulfur, gaseous sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, rhombic sulfur. according to their temperature here, they are there. The 4 phases of the sulfur. This is a phase diagram of sulfur. Now I'm going to explain you the phase diagram of the sulfur. So here you can see A, B, E. This whole area you are having solid rhombic sulfur. And in this BEC area, you are having solid monoclinic sulfur, SM. Okay, SM, SR are in equilibrium for this BE curve. Next, now this is, see, first I'm giving you the areas, then I will explain you the curves. In this area, this complete area, A, B, E, you're having rhombic sulfur, SR. And B, E, C, you are having monoclinic sulfur. Now, E, C, D, you are having liquid sulfur. Next, D, C, B, you are having the vapor sulfur. Even here you are having this one, liquid sulfur. Okay, so this is about the sulfur. Now we'll see the areas completed. 1, 2, 3, 4 areas. Rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, liquid sulfur, vapor sulfur completed for us. Now we'll see the curves. Curves, how they are in equilibrium. Later on, still detailedly I'll explain. AB curve, you're getting SR is in equilibrium with V. Rhombic sulfur is in equilibrium with vapor sulfur. AB curve, SR is in equilibrium with vapor sulfur. Now, BE curve, SR is in equilibrium with SM. Rhombic sulfur is in equilibrium with SM sulfur. Now, EG, rhombic sulfur is in equilibrium with liquid sulfur. Rhombic sulfur is in equilibrium with liquid sulfur. EC, monoclinic sulfur is in equilibrium with liquid sulfur. Next, CD line, liquid sulfur is in equilibrium with vapor sulfur, L by V. Next, BC, monoclinic sulfur is in equilibrium with vapor sulfur. Now, AB, rhombic sulfur is in equilibrium with vapor sulfur. I hope you have understood this diagram. Now in detail we'll discuss. About the areas, 4 areas I have told you. Curves or lines the same. AB, BE, EG, EC, CB, CD, we have discussed. And at this point, F point, all the 4 are in equilibrium. F point, all the 4 are in equilibrium. 1, monoclinic sulfur, rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, vapor sulfur, liquid sulfur, vapor sulfur. All of them are in equilibrium. Okay. Now we'll see the curves in detail. Curves in the phase diagram. First, AB. What indicates? Sublimation curve of rhombic sulfur. AB. Sublimation, what do you mean? Solid is directly converting to gas. This is the sublimation curve. AB is the sublimation curve. Solid rhombic is converting to vapor. Solid to vapor is not, gaseous state is nothing but sublimation. Now, curve BC. Curve BC. Again, even this one, vapor state, even monoclinic is a solid one. Even that is the sublimation curve of monoclinic sulfur. But between the monoclinic sulfur and the vapor sulfur, sublimation curve. Now coming to CD. CD. Vapor is in equilibrium with liquid. So it is vaporization curve. Liquid converting to vapor. Vaporization curve you call. Liquid converting to vapor. This is vaporization curve, CD. Liquid sulfur is converting to vapor sulfur. Now, CE, this is the fusion curve. Fusion curve. The solid monoclinic sulfur is converting to the solid fusion of the monoclinic sulfur. Here, CE is the fusion of the monoclinic sulfur. Now, BE, transition curve of the transition. Solid states are getting transition. One solid state to other solid state. Previous diagrams you have seen. Both of them are solids, but the structure is different. That is the transition. It is getting transformed. The solid one only, one form of the solid is converting to other form of the solid. So that is the transition curve. BE is the transition curve of the solid sulfur. Where what is the transition going on? Rhombic sulfur is converting to monoclinic sulfur. Okay, a solid mass diagram. I'll show you the diagram. Here, both of them are the solids. Rhombic sulfur is converting to monoclinic. Both of them getting converted. Okay, so that is the transition curve. Now EG. EG is the fusion curve. EG is the fusion curve. So similarly, you are having two fusion curves. One is the CE fusion curve, CE solid to liquid. Here you are having CE fusion curve, CE fusion curve, fusion of monoclinic sulfur to liquid sulfur. Next, similarly, EG is also CE and EG. Both of them are fusion curves. Rhombic sulfur to liquid, monoclinic sulfur to liquid. So this is one fusion curve and this is the other fusion curve. So this is the rhombic sulfur fusion curve. This is the monoclinic sulfur fusion curve. At any curve, now what is the phase rule? F is equal to 3 minus P. F here, how many of them are the compositions? I've told you here. F is equal to C minus P. Here 3 minus P. It is equal to 3 minus 2. It is univariant system. It is univariant system. So applying the phase rule, you will be getting 3 minus 2. It's nothing but 3 minus 2. So it is the univariant system. Now coming to the curves, it is all univariant. Composition is 1. Okay, previous slide you have understood now. It is univariant system. In the univariate system, you are having the formula F is equal to C minus P plus 2. F is equal to C minus P plus 2. C is 1. Okay. C is 1. F is equal to okay. So later, it's not writing. Here you have got F is equal to C minus P plus 2. F is equal to C is 1. 1 plus 2 minus P. F is equal to C minus P plus 2. C is 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus P. Phases you are having 2. I discussed you now. So I have discussed you. Yeah, everywhere rhombic sulfurial. Now Okay, sorry, it's not getting erased. So later on we'll explain you. Now, F is equal to curves in the phase diagram. All the curves, same phase rule. F is equal to C minus P plus 2. C is 1. So 1 minus P plus 2. 1 minus P plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus P. How many phases? At each curve, this is one curve. All these are the curves. I gave you AB curve, BC curve, CD curve, CE curve, EG curve, BE curve. All these curves, wherever you see, how many phases? 2 phases. One is a solid, the other one is vapor. Here, again, solid, vapor, liquid, vapor, liquid, solid, solid, liquid. Like that, if you see here, solid, liquid. All everywhere of the curve, you take any curve, AB, BC, CD, CE, EG, wherever it may be, you take, you'll be getting two curves. For each curve, you are getting two phases. So F is equal to C minus P plus 2. C is 1, P is 2. F is equal to 3 minus P. 3 minus 2. It is equal to 1. Univariate system. All the curves, it is univariate system. Just like in the water system, even here it is the same. Now we'll go for the triple points. You are having triple points. Triple point B, 1. Triple point C. Triple point E. Triple point here. Any of the triple points you take. B, C, E. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Meeting place is the triple point. 1, 2, 3 areas. Meeting place is the triple point. Again, E. 1, 2, 3 meeting place is the E. At all these triple points, the phase rule will apply. F is equal to, again, composition. It is 1. Only sulfur. Composition is 1. So C minus P plus 2. Plus 2 and C is 1. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 minus P. How many phases at triple point? Now I showed you. 1, 2, 3. So 3 minus 3, non-variant. Same like water, here also. There are only one triple point. You are having here 3 triple points. B, C, E. At a triple point, it is non-variant. At triple point, applying the phase rule, you are getting non-variant. At the curves, on applying, you are getting monovariant. You are getting monovariant. Okay, here non-variant. Now we'll go for the curves. The next one, we'll go for the curves, areas. So curves, first I have explained you. First I have explained you the curves, monovariant system in the curves, in the triple points non-variant system. Now in the areas, how you'll get to see. You are having 4 types of areas, A, B, E, G. A, B, E, G. A, B, E, G is one area. A, B, E, G is one area. Totally rhombic sulfur. This complete one is rhombic sulfur. Now, second area, B, C, E, B. B, C, E, B. The center round one. Sorry, not the round one. This one, triangle. B, C, E. B, C, E. This curve, this area, you see, you're having the solid monoclinic sulfur. A, B, E, G, rhombic sulfur. B, C, E, B, you're having monoclinic sulfur. D, C, E, G, you're having the liquid sulfur. Okay, this is one area. This is one phase. Total 4 phases, 4 areas. Solid phase, rhombic sulfur. Again the solid phase, monoclinic sulfur, different solids. Previous diagram is shown. Again the liquid phase of the sulfur. This is the vapor phase. A, B, C, D, the last one. Area A, B, C, D. You are getting the vapor state. How many phases? 1, 2, 3, 4 phases. Solid rhombic sulfur, one phase, solid phase only, crystalline state. Okay, so monoclinic, the other form, solid, liquid, and vapor. In these all areas, what is the phase rule? F is equal to 3 minus P is equal to 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. F is equal to C minus P plus 2. So C is 1. Total composition is only 1. C is 1. C minus P. 1 minus P plus 2. You're getting 3 minus P. So 1 minus P plus 2. It is 3 minus P. So one phase you're having, it is bivariant system. Here the phase is only 1. Okay. So you are getting bivariant system. So the phase rule on applying for the areas, you are getting the bivariant system. So this is the way we can explain the phase rule for the same component in different phases. In the sulfur, for the curves, you are getting the monovariant system. At the triple points, you are getting the non-variant system. At the areas, you are getting bivariant system. Same in the water system also, we have got. Now, dashed curve. What is a dashed curve? We'll see. Curve BF. Curve BF. There also you have got OA prime, sublimation curve, supercooled liquid water you have got in the water system. Here also you are getting one curve, dashed curve. Curve BF, sublimation curve of metastable rhombic sulfur. Yeah, this one. BF is a sublimation curve of metastable rhombic sulfur. And CF, here, CF. This CF is the supercooled liquid of the sulfur. This is the liquid state. On extending this CD curve, you are getting CF. This is the supercooled liquid of the sulfur. It is not in the solid state. It is a supercooled liquid. The vapor pressure is very high compared to the solid sulfur. This supercooled liquid of the sulfur vapor pressure is very high compared to the solid sulfur. Now curve FE. Go to the curve FE here. F and E. That is the fusion metastable curve of rhombic sulfur. Here. Internally you are having 3 dashed curves. One is the BF curve, sublimation curve of the metastable rhombic sulfur. This rhombic sulfur, see, AB extension, rhombic sulfur metastable curve. Again, CD extension, CF, supercooled liquid of the sulfur. Now, this GE on extension, you are getting one more curve, that is EF curve. EF curve is a fusion curve of the metastable rhombic sulfur. So rhombic sulfur, you are getting 2 curves, metastable state, and one more triple point F. Triple point F. The 3 areas of A, B, F, E. A, B, F, E. That is the metastable rhombic sulfur. This whole area A, B, F, E is the metastable state of the rhombic sulfur. Next, A, B, F, C, D. FCD is the sulfur vapor state. Again, area D, C, F, E is the supercooled liquid. Supercooled liquid of the sulfur. So, this is the way the sulfur exists in 4 forms, different phases, and we have applied the phase rule. On applying the phase rule, we have understood to study the behavior of this heterogeneous system. It helped in studying the heterogeneous equilibrium of the different phases of the sulfur that are in equilibrium. Okay, this phase rule helped us in studying the heterogeneous equilibrium system of 4 phases of the sulfur that are in equilibrium. So we have applied our phase rule. We have applied the phase rule, and on applying the phase rule, we have understood what is the phases and what is the variancy of the sulfur system, which in different phases they are in equilibrium. How is the variance? Is it the bivariant, or it is invariant, or else it is univariant? So is that temperature dependent or temperature pressure dependent? How the degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom means what? The degrees of freedom, we have told you. What is the degrees of freedom? It is the invariable, the degrees of freedom of a system is nothing but number of factors, namely temperature, pressure, concentrations, that are varied for different phases in the equilibrium. So degrees of freedom can be known. Okay, for the sulfur, 4 different states are there for the sulfur. Rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, liquid sulfur. We have applied the phase rule for these 4 systems which are in equilibrium. Thereby we have calculated the F. What is F? Degrees of freedom. We have calculated using the phase rule. So for the areas you have got, for the areas we have, for the curves we have got the univariant. For the triple points we have got the non-variants. And for the areas we have got the bivariant. So the phases, this phase rule helped us in studying the equilibrium systems for different phases of the sulfur that are in the equilibrium. So variance is studied. Again, it is nothing but the temperature variance, pressure variance, concentration variance. All these degrees of freedom are studied using the phase rule. I hope everybody have understood my session. So today's session, we have discussed clearly again what is a phase rule, what is Gibbs phase rule, degrees of freedom, number of components, phase rule, phase diagram, and advantages of the phase rule, limitations of the phase rule. We have applied for one component system, that is sulfur system. It existed in 4 forms in equilibrium. So for the areas we have got the areas we have got, area is nothing but the phases. For the phases all, you have got the bivariant system applying the phase rule. For the curves, you have got the univariant system applying the phase rule. At the triple points, we have got the non-variant system. Non-variant system at the triple points. Still, we have understood the dash curves, the sublimation curve, how the metastable equilibrium is attained for the rhombic sulfur, how the supercooled liquid of the sulfur is obtained. You have understood the metastable equilibrium. Metastable equilibrium means the type of state that can be obtained only by careful approach from one direction. Only from one direction on careful approach only you can understand. Thereby we have understood the sublimation curves of the rhombic sulfur, metastable curves we have seen 2. And the supercooled liquid sulfur also we have observed. And the curves, the fusion curves, one more, 2 fusion curves. So sublimation curves and the vapor curve, supercooled liquid, okay, fusion curve. So how many? Sublimation curve, vapor pressure curve, supercooled pressure, supercooled liquid of the sulfur, and the fusion curve of the metastable curve. All these are understood in this phase diagram. So thank you everybody. I hope you have understood my session.